actually going to do a mix. You saw that sign says Ferry Street as well. Shouldn't have crossed here, I guess, but we'll hurry it up. So it says entering the tourist area, but there's actually a couple here. Clifton Hill is much more well known as like where a lot of restaurants and attractions and things are. But this street here, Lundy's Lane, is a mix of things that you'd expect, you know, in any city. Grocery stores and regular services and things like that, as well as a lot of touristy stuff. So you'll find restaurants and souvenir shops and motels. I just wanted to hurry up and get out here and get some kind of a live stream, because when I look back behind me, those clouds are not looking great, and about an hour and a half from now we're expecting thunderstorms, and that's going to be it. This is my last chance to get out for this weekend. So as well, Niagara Falls is part of Ontario, Canada, in full lockdown mode still for yet another couple weeks to come. And they've started talking about a reopening plan, but we're still a few weeks off from the start of that, and it's going to be a slow, tedious process by the sound of it. Thank you everybody for coming in, by the way. Marco263, Do It All Ceiling, that's Jeff Lepard. Corinne's Life, thanks for coming in. Fern's Junk Closet, my YouTube BFF, is in the house. Eating with Miss P, always good to see you, thanks for coming in. Mama Glow Up is an unbelievably supportive creator, so thank you for coming in. And JetLife777, good to see you here as well. Sorry, I don't smoke, but thank you. I don't typically run into a lot of that. People asking for cigarettes and stuff, but we're hiding in a bush, literally. Just something else. So we're actually walking the opposite direction from what you usually see from me. If I turn back, way off in the distance, you can see Seneca, Niagara, New York, which is a casino that's in Niagara Falls, New York, of course. I've still got a lot to learn. I've been living here for a few years, but not as familiar with the city yet as I'd like to be. I haven't even seen this. You know how many times I've driven by this? Probably a million. Wow. I don't know how much walking around I can do right here, but we'll see. I'll keep going. Fazio to Face King, good to see you here. Angel downstairs, Rachel, glad to have you here. Cabaret Gaming, good to see you. Thanks for coming in. It is a beautiful area. I do love Niagara Falls. The city, you know, even regardless of the tourist areas, there's lots of plaques and stuff talking about the history right here. I'll get back over to the street in another moment. We're literally exploring and learning together today. Wasn't expecting any of this. They got plaques like this, many, all throughout, talking about the history here. But this is just a little tiny area here set aside, preserved, I guess. So I'm not going to bother going too far down there. That's just residential. Noticed this walking by. Like I said, I've driven by this thing a million times, just haven't ever been walking around here to come and look. The last time I came to this area, I didn't actually come right here to this corner. Since they're trying to keep it somewhat preserved, I'm not gonna walk across the grass. Niagara Falls is usually a lot cleaner than this. I guess they just got to get somebody over here. But the wind is out of control today too. So that's probably why we're seeing a few things lying around here and there. Off in the distance here, you can see this is starting to look like just a typical city. Dollar store there, Burger King, Dairy Queen. Little Frenchie in Big Texas, good to see you here. Georgia Bulldogs, thanks for coming in. Antoinette at Fun, always good to see you. Getting my exercise, and you can tell that I need it. I just got out of the truck like 5 minutes ago. I'm already huffing and puffing. But that's the other half of the reason why I want to get out here and do this, is I need some kind of exercise, right? Not to mention, I tend to walk a mile a minute, so I'm going to try to calm that down. I could have planned this live stream a lot better. I should have thought of it, but I'm not going to walk too far this direction. I'll cross back here and go the other way. I feel like there's more interesting things to see back from whence we came there. This starts to look a lot, like I said, like a typical city. Now there is a mix of motels and restaurants and bars and souvenir shops and other attractions. There's mini golf down the road there. There's a bowling alley eventually. Price of gas hasn't actually risen as much as I thought it was going to this weekend. I thought we'd see over $1.32 a liter. And Jaden, that was just a quick mistake. It's fixed now. Eating with Miss PM, we're walking. Want Red Lobster for dinner tonight? Yeah. I was joking Georgia Bulldogs all week about the fact that my sunburn this week is that of a Red Lobster. Working on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and didn't have sunblock for the first few hours on Tuesday. Wasn't even thinking about it, and burned to a crisp. But I put all that aloe and stuff on, so it's all right. Happy to have some good weather, but like I said, that's the other reason I'm out today. We're expecting thunderstorms for the next couple of days. We'll see if it happens, but otherwise I wouldn't have got out. I'll try to hurry it up here so we can get back into where there's some action. There's stuff like this all over Niagara Falls. There's a lot of history in this city. as I keep doing these live streams this summer, I'll learn as I go as well, and hopefully be able to do a better job each time as well. Yeah, Jet Life 777, no lockdowns in Florida. Interesting, right? Vern's Jug Closet. It's getting close. You want to see? I'll show you the farmer's tent. I wonder if I can walk up there, see if there's something interesting. I'll look in a second. Forgive me for what I'm going to do here. This is nonsense, but I'll just show you what happened. Let me pull my arm. Can you see the farmer's stand here that I got happening? I don't know how well you can see that, but it's something else. But luckily, because I do this stuff every all the time in the good weather, I have a base that comes through pretty quick. Oh, Drummond Hill Cemetery. Okay, I'm not going to do too much in here because I don't want to be disrespectful. I didn't realize what that was exactly. Like I said, we're learning as we go here. Wonder if you can see the Skyline Tower off behind those trees there. Robert Macanasia, good to see you here. Oh, right now, Jet Life 777, I am using an iPhone SE, but it's the original, not the new one. It's from like 5 or 6 years ago. And I'm using that on a gimbal. I have a link in the description, of course. But it shoots well enough that I haven't switched yet. So what I do is I carry around a iPhone 11, which is, my main phone now. And I use this to read the chat along with my glasses. The system finally works. And I just use the iPhone SE for filming because I don't imagine there's that much better of a difference. And in order to get my new phone to work the way I'm streaming right now, I need a new gimbal. So, the expenses just go up and up and up and up and up. But this works fine. So why bother changing it, right? And I want to have the bigger screen to read anyway. My vision is not what it once was. Hilda DC, thanks for coming in. Yeah, Lil Frenchie in Big Texas. I'm going to have to be a little more mindful when I'm out about the sun and this and that. Even today, there's so much cloud because I'm expecting rain that I don't know if the UV rays or whatever are going to get to me. But I'm only planning on being out here for an hour. So right now we're at Main Street, and I should one of these days, why don't I just walk down here now? Instead of talking about it, let's do it. Go for a little while, not too far off the path we were on. See, everything's closed. Lots and lots of businesses are available now for lease and this and that. Businesses have closed down and stuff, as you would expect. Won't put too much focus over here. Not going to walk too far here. I just want to show you, so there's lots of area. You can tell that this is old city, but upkept and renovated for the most part anyway. The buildings have been refaced, a lot of them, and this and that, and there's still a mix of lots of different types of businesses here. Let's cross right here. Just be lucky enough to catch this light. Goes on for a little while there. if I eventually get into making videos like I would like, I'll do the thing where I put like maps so that you can see where actually we've walked and this and that. Some of this is interesting, I guess. It's not like every city in the world looks exactly the same, right? So Don Arnold, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. SPF 50. Once a long time ago, I worked on a cruise ship that went from New York to Bermuda. Every week I did that for a summer, and I went to the beach and got a sunburn so bad that I thought literally I had to go to the hospital. They have a hospital on the ship, but I had to go, and the doctor had to give me eye drops because I actually sunburned my eyeballs on top of everything else. And I'm just like, you know, a lot of people like, oh, don't worry, I got enough sunblock, I'm fine. Had no idea. Thought I was going to be scarred for life, but it all ended up being fine after. And I won't make that mistake again. But I did, after that, use SPF 70. People were joking, they're like, don't put that on, you're going to vanish. It's going to do a lot more than protect you from the sun. But now I'm good. Now I can use 30 and seem to be okay most of the time. I usually put it on multiple times a day if I'm out working. See, look at this, for lease. Everything's for lease. I've been wrong about a lot of things when it comes to these lockdowns and the causes and what was going to happen, the mentality of everybody afterwards. So I don't like to make too many predictions, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. We should be on a slow but eventual opening of everything. Off in the distance there, you can see one of our casinos and the Niagara Sky Wheel, which is the monster Ferris wheel in the middle of Clifton Hill. You have to look down each street too, you know, if you're exploring, just to see if there's extra stuff. There could be restaurants, there could be certainly motels, sometimes souvenir shops and things like this. Big Texas Bar and Grill, it's a place I haven't been yet. If I remember that place, I don't know if that was the name of it at the time. Krista might have had them offer prizes for a charity event. Cooking with Miss Brown, good to see you here. I know, I don't want to do that again. So you're getting a little bit of a different look for, you know, those of you, I know a lot of you are extremely supportive and have seen a lot of the live streams I've done around here. We are way off in a different area, almost more in the center of Niagara Falls we were. And there's some of the hotels that you see me film from the other side. I think I've only done this once, where I've walked around here once last year. I just want to show different areas, right? And you know that a couple of months from now, if I come back here, things are going to look different. There'll be new businesses, probably. There'll be a lot more people. He loves his car. Lots and lots and lots of really nice vehicles here in Niagara Falls. A lot of classics upkept. It's like a movement around here. Lots of motorcycles too, as you can imagine. Niagara Falls is big enough to not feel like a small town or a small city, but small enough that you don't have the kind of traffic you expect in the major metropolitan areas like Toronto, where I grew up, and this and that. Lots of stuff boarded up. Still a little bit of land available in the middle of everything around here. I don't know how expensive it might all be, but still properties for sale. You could still, if you really shop, the last time I was looking, you could still buy a 3-bedroom house for $300,000 if you shop, and probably if you're willing to do a bit of work and this and that. There's a few bakeries around here too, actually. Haven't been to that place. This was a monster souvenir shop. Not anymore, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, you're getting a little bit of exercise anyway. Yeah, no doubt traffic in Miami. I haven't been to Florida for many years. Probably 10 years ago, something like that. I went to Jacksonville and Tampa, but barely for any time. Not enough time to enjoy anything. I'm gonna have to rename this live stream because I did say I'd be walking around Lundy's Lane and I barely did. Some of the streets changed names. There's the Skyline Tower that I talk about all the time. Kristen and I have been there for dinner. It rotates, and so while you sit and have dinner, I think it takes 90 minutes to go around. So you get a beautiful view both of the city and the Niagara Falls themselves. You can see what I mean. There's motels and restaurants and souvenir shops and Dairy Queen here all mixed together. I think there's 3 Dairy Queens, is that right? Corinne's Life is the one who last time had me go running around for this. I think Corinne's Life was talking about Dairy Queen one day, and I couldn't get it out of my head, so of course we had to come and get blizzards. I'm surprised it's not busier right now. I'm literally sweating. It's very humid. It's not even that it's so hot, and there is a little bit of wind. Walk a little bit farther this way. I want to see if I can catch up to some older stuff that I remember. You get a good mix of independent restaurants as well as franchises here. So I tend to enjoy independence more, and I don't know if that's just because of luck. Stanley Avenue, by the way, is another like major street. There's stuff all up and down here. One of these days I'll do a dedicated live stream where I'll walk up and down there. When Kristen and I have been out for dinner, our better experiences have been in the independent restaurants. So we have a couple of favorites, and they have typically been better experiences than the franchise most often. I didn't realize I got to press the button over here. They got these things. If I don't press this button, I don't get to go. Maybe I'll cross at the next opportunity then. Daytona Beach. The traffic might not be as bad as Atlanta, you say, eh? So Daytona Beach actually had family that lived in Daytona Beach and Tampa. It's not the reason I was there about 10 years ago. I went a long time ago, and I was like 18 years old was the last time I went. But then 10 years ago to Jacksonville and Tampa. Happy to, I get so cheesy when I go out to other places. I want to do the touristy stuff, eh? Like I'll literally hang a camera around my neck, and I want to eat all the takeout garbage that I don't usually get to eat. I've driven way out of the way for White Castle many times. I have had Hardee's and Sonic, which are non-existent in Canada. Now we're moving again. Like I said, there's a lot of independent restaurants as well as franchises here, as you can see. And then buffets are a big thing around here. I don't know if that has to do with the casinos or if it was already something before the casinos came in. And there's two here, right in Niagara Falls. It's so weird to see parking lots so empty like this. Not a lot of people walking around. But again, I still wanted to get out anyway and do some of this. And then, you know, things will look different. They love their car too. My Apple Watch is happy that I'm walking around. Interested in the fact that I might be working out right now. Again, motels and souvenir shops. But the city has also done a good job of taking advantage of the fact that we had to have these lockdowns. So they've been doing a lot of renovating, particularly down where Clifton Hill is. There is a lot of renovation going on with regards to the roads and the walkways and things like that. So it's hard to believe, but right here in this parking lot used to be a nightclub where I threw a bunch of parties a long time ago. Used to rent out nightclubs and have like teen night, and did that for a couple of years. Used to be called Cantina Charlie's, not to be confused with Jack's Cantina, which is another place here in Niagara Falls. I don't know if it still exists. And you can see, like, even though Niagara Falls doesn't seem like the biggest place in the world, there's still lots of different stuff, you know, all over the place. The streets, each one goes on and on and on, with more motels, more restaurants, things like that. So I'll head back the other way now. I'll attempt not to get rained on. Club 7 is a nightclub here. It's almost the only one left. We have one called Dragonfly that's in one of the casinos. Club 7 is it. There used to be a few other nightclubs down here called Rumors was one that was here for a long time. Mardi Gras was a very small one. And this Club 7 moved locations recently. I don't think they've actually been open since they moved. I think they're just waiting now. Couple of bikes there. Of course, there's transit, so everybody can get everywhere they need, whether or not they are driving. Yeah, nothing's busy here because nothing's open. You literally can't do anything. not that I'm speaking, I don't mean to speak negatively about it. I mean, like, literally, you can't do anything. You cannot eat outside. So, let's say a restaurant has picnic tables. You're not allowed to eat there. You're not allowed to gather. No family. You're only allowed to congregate with the people that you live with. And if my understanding is right, if you are somebody who lives alone, you are allowed to congregate with one household. And that's it. So a lot of these restaurants are open for takeout, where you can actually walk in, get the food, and leave, but you cannot sit and eat. You can't even sit and wait, actually. And then they all have delivery between Skip the Dishes and Uber Eats and whatever else is there. You see what I mean here? Look at the patio. You know, they'd have this full of tables and chairs. They put it all away. So they're doing this thing now where when a certain number of people have gotten their vaccines, then they will open things up so that you can, again, eat outdoors or have gatherings of, I don't know, 5 people or something, right? Once another 10% have gotten their vaccines, they'll open it up where you can have gatherings of 10 people, and you might be able to sit indoors and eat, but they'll still be social distanced by 6 feet and tables of only 4 or 6 people, something like that. Look at these things here. I don't even know what they're called. These little motorcycle car Batmobile things. A few of them down here. That one's rented, I guess, right? It says rent me right on the side of it. They might get rained on. As I cross, you can see what I mean. Like, the streets go on and on and on. So it's nowhere near a small town. There's a lot to cover. As I can't come out here and keep doing this stuff. Janetti's Corner, thanks for being here. My love, Kristen Welton, of course. Oh, you can meet up with 5 people outside now. Okay, so I'm mistaken about that. Instacart, I don't know if we have that here. Sweet PASMR, good to see you in the house. Thanks for coming in. What did I miss? JetLife 777. What are slingshots are the cars. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Those vehicles. Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know. You know, there's a few of them out here. I've never ridden in one, but I've seen many. Everybody can have their own Batmobile now. Oh, Atlanta has a lot of slingshots, really? I have family in Atlanta too. See if one day I can ever get there. It's interesting how we figure, like, oh, just do it next year, someday, until they close the borders. And then we say, oh no, now I can't go, now I want to go. How bad the wind is for everybody having to listen to it. It feels like it's a little bit much. So what I've done today is not all that interesting, right? There's just not a lot of activity, nobody to talk to. Not that you expect to, but sometimes you walk around and sometimes people will say, like, hey, are you on YouTube? And some people want to wave hello. I tend to hold my gimbal and phone up way high and like kind of very obvious. So if somebody didn't want to be in the video, they could easily hide away. But then if somebody was inclined to like say hello, they would, I don't know, be more inclined to do it, I guess. That's the hope anyway. But you can see there's just almost nothing happening. And before these clouds came over, which is still not that bad yet, it was a beautiful day. It's warm. You would expect more people walking around doing just about anything. A lovely town. A lot of the stuff is upkept. I mean, you do have some older buildings that start to look that way, but most of the stuff seems to be upkept, at least with a fresh coat of paint every couple of years or something like that. But they rely on tourism, right? So they have to. Been to this car wash either. And a mix of residential in between everything. A lot of times you'll see restaurants, motels, souvenir shops, and all kinds of stuff, and then a house just sitting there. It's a house that was, probably built so long ago and just never got bought out. Back to walking a mile a minute again, but we're going uphill now, so starting to slow down a bit. Yeah, I will. I'll have. I got like a case of Gatorade in the truck and lots of water around. But the problem is, when you go to live stream, you don't want to drink too much before you go. It can be a problem. So I will hydrate well and get back and get ready for Tuber Chat soon. The more I walk, the more I realize I need to walk. I'll have to go in here one day. Niagara Falls History Museum, eh? Falls Barber Shop. Again, no haircut all this time. So you wonder, like, come on, Kev, don't you know, like, anybody who would be willing to cut your hair? And you could probably, if you search long enough, you might find somebody willing to do it. But that'll just get everybody upset. So I'll just wait it out. Here we are pretty much back where we started. I did name this live stream Walking Around Lundy's Lane, but I would have had to go the opposite direction for that to really be more true. But we'll get over there eventually. Haha, yeah. Jet Life 777 if you get a chance to come to Canada. There are just as many beautiful places here as anywhere else. Michael's Adventures, thanks for hanging out, by the way. I don't mean to miss anybody in the chat if I did. that's just about it. So thank you everybody for hanging out. Fresh grilled hamburgers, eh? There's lots of places, you know, where you can get that happening here. I haven't pulled the barbecue out in a long time. Michael's Adventures is the king of red meat, man. Between the steaks and the hamburgers, I'm gonna start counting what this guy intakes every week. It's interesting. I definitely look like somebody who can eat a decent sized meal, but I really don't eat any more than anybody else. One hamburger is always enough for me. Probably should think about either getting the barbecue out or have to look at whether we need a new one. But thank you everybody for hanging out. I am heading back to the parking lot where my truck is at. I will get myself home and together. And I did move the time of Tuber Chat. Now that I see what time it is here, I'm a little bit earlier than I thought, so maybe I can scale it back a little bit. Drive everybody nuts. I usually don't do that. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. And I promise you, as things open up here, you know, I'm going to keep going out live streaming. And if we're lucky, the streams will get more interesting as time goes on, as there's more to see and, you know, a lot more to do. Maybe there'll be new businesses. There'll definitely be a lot more people eventually. Steaks for supper. Burgers for lunch, steaks for dinner. My goodness. All right, thanks everybody, and we'll see you again very soon.